Brodes Media.
I have never seen tickets so low in my life. Where, Brodes? You gotta tell me. Okay, TickPick. Oh my God. Flyers, Sixers, you name it. At the Xfinity Mobile Arena, you're talking in the range of $34, $39, $38. You ain't got to worry about any of the fee stuff. Oh my God, it's it. No. When I tell you, you are looking in all the wrong places, because everybody talks about how the ticket game, it's so out of this world and I can't do it and it's too much money. It's because you're going to the wrong places. And not only that, you can also get $10 off your purchase by utilizing code BRODES10 at checkout. So essentially, think of me handing you over some bread. You have no excuse. Go to TickPick and support your favorite team today. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. I feel so much better right now than I did seconds after the clock hit 0. And normally, if the game's at 1, I don't hit start recording literally the second it ticks to 0. But because it was Monday Night Football, my sleep schedule was all out of place. It was super late in the morning. I wanted to kind of get things started rather quickly. I didn't have as much time as I normally do to digest. And I don't apologize for that, by the way. Those were my real, raw thoughts in the moment. But if a game's at 1, I tend to record maybe 30, 40 minutes after the game. I get to sit on. And 40 minutes is a world of a difference, because you can even hear my tone in the instant reaction show by the 35-minute mark compared to when I started ripping. Jalen sucked, and I can't believe the offense was such shit. And, I was just in my feels. And not that I no longer feel that way, but I have a different tone with it, if that makes sense. But let me say this, though. That's a fucking huge win. Huge win. If you lose that and you start playing the chasing game, and we still have more work to do, by the way, Sunday at the Link, and that's going to come rather quickly. And you're now without Jair Alexander, who I didn't have the highest hopes for, but I didn't see him randomly deciding to contemplate retirement on you, considering what he was saying in the locker room after his week of practice. And is it just weird that two guys decided to do that in the same season with him and Zadarius Smith? Or is there a reason why these newcomers decide to do it? I don't know. I'm wishing him the best and wishing him well. And I know he's going through a lot physically and mentally with that part of the game. And he wants to recalibrate. And I got no issue with that. It's a weird situation to see once, let alone twice in the same season. But anyway, that win, it really could be, and I don't want to go too obnoxious here, but that could have been season changing. Maybe season defining might be a better word to use. But it's so significant to continue to be the team with the target on your back, instead of in the mix with everybody else, and now you're peeking up at Seattle, you're looking up at these other teams, and you're trying to prove yourself with a very frustrating offense, to say the least, if we're being open. But, go get that win. Go on the road, beat Green Bay, win in a tough battle where you're both playing great defensively, and somebody's got to fail. Someone's got to make the mistake. Someone's got to do the wrong thing. Don't let it be you. Keep up that greatness. That new D-line, that new pass rush, let that new personality shine. And they sure did on the road. After a bye week, new faces. it could be season-defining, season-changing. There's always that game. There's a Thursday night game against Carolina Panthers. There's a game against Green Bay and Jordan Howard, all those touchdowns. There's always a regular season game where it sends a message to the fan base. It tells you something about that group, and sometimes you feel it in the moment, and other times, maybe it's more of with time. You understand the importance of it, but you don't know then. You know with time what it told you. And it's bizarre that the score is 10-7. But wouldn't that be the most Jalen Hurts type of season-defining win in the history of Jalen Hurts? It's not supposed to make sense. Hell, we even broke Spike Eskin. Because Spike Eskin today, to open up the afternoon show, was essentially saying, you know what? I've been barking and I've been criticizing this organization and team over however long it's been, and it just hit me. Like, all they do is win. They just win. Welcome to the party. And a buddy of mine who's a big Detroit sports fan hit me up. Shout out, Keith. I love you. And he hits me with this. You can't be too encouraged about what you saw, right? The Lions are going to come into town and smack you around. Give you a little pimp slap. Ooh, disrespectful. And I go, no, you don't understand. If you need 40, they get 40. If you need 17, they get 17. If you need 10, they get 10. If you need 24, you get 24. When you watch them on a day-to-day basis, you get it. When you don't get it. So the Eagles don't look like something to others. They don't smell like something to others. It's just more about the resume and more about the history of what they've accomplished and not so much the style of play they're playing now. But what you don't realize is they're actually starting to be a mirror of last year. Last year's regular season offense was very questionable, extremely flawed, and annoying. Their defense created this swagger, and then eventually it got married together. And they were doing some ridiculous things. We're following that trend now, especially with the addition of Jalen Phillips. So all that to say, I just want to make sure that we recognize how serious of a moment that was. And some fans are probably hiding behind the electric defensive battle too much, where you're not criticizing both teams' offense, to be fair, throughout. I mean, this is the same team. What did the Dallas Cowboys do to this Green Bay Packers team? All right, let's go to that. What was it? Cowboys versus Green Bay score. That would be 40-40 overtime tie. And I get it. Vic Fangio's defense ain't Dallas. But that Green Bay 40. My point is this. It was fun. It was sort of like, let's go, old school football. Meet me in the middle of the trenches and let's have those pads hit, baby. Let's hear that, make a big pop, from the crowd. Everybody at 160,000 people can't even believe it. That sounded harsh. It sounded intense. It was a big, clean hit. Everybody's okay. But it was just a monster good football hit up the A-gap. Maybe it's Nakobe Dean flying around. And I appreciate that. I do. That is enjoyable football, even if the score is a low score. I do think you're allowing some of the offense, though, off the hook when you do that. Season changing. And I actually mentioned this next part on my skate takes. If you don't know what my skate takes are, it's when I rollerblade around the front of my neighborhood in the morning. And I post it on Twitter as I give you my takes. You can follow me at Brodes81. And the Giants, when they fired Brian Dable, I went around and listened to what some of the big sports talk radio hosts in New York were saying, and some of the local podcasts up there and whatnot. And I was just listening in. That's what I do. I'm a sicko. I appreciate the craft. I listen to big markets when some crazy things happen in their sports town. Sue me. And one of the things that was mentioned was their incomprehensible amount of blowing leads. And when you look at when they lost to Denver, and when you see some of their other egregious losses in the fourth quarter, not individually, but stack those up, and the odds of that happening is 1 in 60,000. And if you are hitting on something that's 1 for 60,000, then that's not just unlucky. That's too insane of a number where I think you're doing something for that to happen. Because you don't just accident. If that's the case, we'd all be getting struck by lightning. 1 in 60,000 for you to lose all of those games in the fashion that you did when you had the 95, 98, 97% winning chance. You're doing something to even put yourself in that position. And self-inflicted wounds are occurring with Brian Daboll and Shane and anybody in that front office for you to even have a chance for those numbers to hit. And I apply that to the Eagles in this sense. You go on the road and you face Kansas City in week 2. You end up going on the road and facing Tampa Bay. You go on the road in Lambeau Field. And these are teams, when you go on the road, you normally don't win. Now, I'm not saying the Eagles are different. But that's my point is, when you look at the rest of the league, you win these games. Teams traditionally don't win these games. You're doing it at such a high clip that you're putting yourself in the position to win these extreme amount of games over 4 years, over the Jalen Hurts experience, over Nick Sirianni. If you're 1 of 60,000 to win this consistently, you're doing something to put you in that position. And I feel very strongly about that. You know what else I feel very strongly about? My Emilio cigars, baby. Old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned. Made at Fabrica Oveja Negra, Nicaragua. When I tell you Emilio cigars are the best cigars available and the best cigars to ever touch my lips, I truly do mean that. Right now, you can click the link down below in the description. You can utilize code Brodes10 when checking out all the options available for you, and you will get 10% off your entire purchase. If you are a cigar smoker, do me a favor. Go down below, click that link, go to the website, and just give this a whirl. That's all I ask of you. Give this a whirl. You will be mind blown. They go everywhere I go. Okay? The fellas love them. That's all they smoke. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family today. All right, let's get to one of the biggest topics that were flying around Eagles land today. That is Jalen and AJ and what they decided to do in the fourth quarter. At midfield. No. Way in on the Green Bay side. Fourth down, game on the line. Putting them in a position, though, for a field goal if you happen to screw up. And what's being reported is Jalen and AJ went rogue. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And yes, there was a history of them doing something previously with Nick Sirianni dying on the sword. And I'm not here to tell you that there wasn't a potential change at the line of scrimmage or acknowledgement at the line of scrimmage. But there's no way in hell, if the call was don't snap it, try and draw them off sides. If we don't, we lose some yards, we punt it, and we win. If that is the strong stance and the strong call from the head coach, I don't think the reaction on the sideline would be him speaking into a microphone, right? Just going, why or what? He would have a look of Richard Sherman in the Super Bowl. Right now, we can all visualize it. That's how crazy and ridiculous of a disgust face Richard Sherman made. Malcolm Butler, interception. Seahawks at the goal line. Put your dreams away. You ain't getting that trophy. If I told Jalen Hurts the plan to punt the ball and him and AJ threw that pass and gave Green Bay the ball back, that is such a level of disrespect, it's not even funny. That's the complete opposite of winning football. That's loser football. That's losing football. Is that really what Jalen Hurts is? What I feel went down is Nick Sirianni wanted to play. They wanted to go for it. They wanted to be aggressive. And Jalen and AJ, with the mindset of we're going to snap this football, liked a certain coverage and linked up. But that's not going rogue. That's two guys noticing a certain coverage and wanting to take a shot. And that's what quarterbacks do. That's playing the quarterback position. That's what you do on an every snap basis. It's just what football is. And if it wasn't the latter and it was the first situation I brought up, then we have to have a whole different discussion on who Jalen Hurts is and who's Nick Sirianni to allow his guys to run all over him like that. That's bad. And one thing that's scaring me into maybe believing there's a small percent chance it was the first scenario is the way Nick Sirianni responded after the game. And I'm not here to tell you he should have done anything different. He did what he was supposed to do. But it was so over the top, it's hiding something. Because I feel if a coach did want to be super aggressive, now I'm playing the other side and I'm debating myself. Now I'm debating and playing devil's advocate as the side that I don't even necessarily agree with, but I do Detective Brodes. How are we always in Detective Brodes? I can never just be in enjoyable mode Brodes. I can never just be, oh, this is great. Well, the last Super Bowl run was pretty damn good. But I want it again. Okay, I'm hungry. I'm starving. Shove it. I want to eat it. What was I saying? I don't know. I'm making stupid jokes. It's throwing my whole show off. Oh, no. Did they do it? Did they do it? Did they do it? Did they do it? Because they were trying to flip off Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni. There's another situation for Detective Brodes. Do they hate KP so much and they think it's so flawed that they're trying to backstab people involved? I don't know. No. I'm just being stupid, but I'm just throwing things out there. But Nick Sirianni clearly took all the shots. And it was a little weird the way he intensely took the shots. But I don't want him to do anything else. He did the right thing. But you could do the right thing and it still smell funky. There was something fishy about it because I think most people would self-reflect, and if they could just be open and honest on what it was, you go, you know what? Listen, I need to be better there. I need to be better there. You just acknowledge it, you move on, and it is what it is. But that one, no, I'm not moving off this stance, motherfucker. Why? And Devontae even post-game, by the way, mentioned 1-11. 1-11. I trust 1-11. So he said something post-game with SVP, as people pointed out. And actually, the first time I heard anything close to this was with Seth Joyner on the morning show, on the morning show. Because he said he caught the glimpse of the broadcast with Nick. And I didn't actually see it after the game. I jumped right into the studio and I started to let it fly. And I guess it happened in the game before I did that. But, I missed it. For whatever reason, I didn't catch it. And he was thinking, and his theory was analytics might have said to go, even though there's a lot of analytics that debunk that. But maybe Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie's wild, insane number game that they put a lot of resources and a lot of money and a lot of cash into analytics. What if Nick Sirianni didn't want to do it? It took him a while to get to the podium after the game. Maybe he was having some conversations, and then he died on the sword. That was Seth's theory, and that was early in the morning before any of the kerfuffle, if that's even the right word. Is it kerfuffle? I'm losing my mind. I'm running on E, ladies and gentlemen. I am in the thick of having a toddler and a newborn, and my life is running on nothing. In a good way. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I fucking love talking to you guys as well. I love it all. I wouldn't change anything. But I went to my mother-in-law's tonight, and they want to do a Tuesday night dinner thing and bring the kids, and, you know, it's a whole thing. And my brother-in-law is bringing his girlfriend. It's, you know, it's a nice how do you do. And I just had to lay on the couch and say, I need 10. Give me 5, give me 10. I love you guys. I can't wait to wake up and have some pasta. But I needed 5, 10. I couldn't do it. I was physically breaking down. Then we come home, and I'm rocking my daughter's 4 months in the rocking chair, and I'm sleeping before her. And I wake up, and I realize I'm still rocking, and she's falling asleep in my hands. I'm going, oh, my God. Now I'm here. I mean, this is all within the last 4 hours or so. Okay, what's next? We'll monitor the Jalen AJ thing. Because, see, some fans are now trying to tie this into a positive. Meaning, look, Jalen and AJ don't hate each other. They're actually on the same page. How ironic. Let's smile, hug it out. And because everybody hates Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni for the abysmal offensive performance and what it's been so far this year, they're sort of proud of the two guys uniting and saying, we don't respect what you do. And I think that's a little ludicrous. I don't think it's that. I don't. A simple way to put it, and then we'll move on. They wanted to run a play to be aggressive. It just wasn't that particular play. Jalen and AJ saw something at the line. It didn't work. Nick wanted a different play. Because at that point, you got to stand your ground as a head coach and realize there needs a price to pay. You have to pay a price. No, I can't do anything. They have to pay a price for a situation like that. That's not some ho-hum thing. And maybe they do take care of it behind the scenes. None of us ever know. The team knows, and the coaches will drill them. Because I got to imagine if it's that level of egregious, it's a whole new discussion, fellas. I mean, I can't even express to you the level of discussion that opens up. All right. Speaking of discussions, I think we got to talk about how great Jalen Phillips was. Actually, I never got a chance to upload one of my WIP shows that I did because there was just so much going on with Eagles, Flyers, Sixers. I was trying to fit everything, and one just got lost in the sauce, and it was Jalen Phillips will be the Von Miller of the Los Angeles Rams when they won their Super Bowl a few years prior. And what I'm actually going to do here is plug in 4 minutes of my open just to pat myself on the back. Now, if you ask me, Brodes, then you better upload a nice little portion of your I'm Sorry Kevin Patullo show later. Ooh, I'll do that one later. I was actually surprised with how many media members and fans just completely eliminated how piss poor the offense was because it was a defensive battle, because it was an old school test, because it was good football, just good football on the other side of each respected offense. And while I do agree these are super talented machines going up against one another, I get that. I do get that. I do think defensively, both of those sides of the ball, they earned a ton of respect, and a lot of pride is out there. That was going to be hell. That was going to be a gruesome, toxic to the body, taxing. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's true. But take a few steps away. This is the same exact team that is at the top of the league in 3 and outs. Do you understand how bad football is in this league when you're at the bottom of the league? I don't think you do. If my statement about their 3 and outs don't hit you hard, top of the league, there are some bad offenses. There's some bad teams. This is the gold standard of the NFL of winning right now. Why is it 3 and out? And why do these numbers in these games reflect that gross part of this football team? We should be past that by now and humming. But then again, that's not what they've done as a franchise in this window. And this window is the best in Eagles history and most likely will never be topped because it's that absurd of a winning percentage. And I hope I'm wrong because I would love to have this taste again one day, but it's all over the place. It's a really hard thing to digest because it's so layered and it's so insanely detailed. But Jalen Phillips, he's such a stud. He makes this defensive line and this entire pass rush unit a big piece of the pie. No longer were you going to just try and survive with your defense, because for a while there, that's what Vic Fangio had to do based off of personnel. It was just about surviving. Now, I think their defense can help be a part of the carrying side of things. And they had some of that makeup last year. And is it starting to align and hit its groove of what we're used to? And what we saw them do to execute said plan and win the title, and they're risk averse and they don't turn the ball over and their percentage. See, this is where they win games though, because their red zone efficiency for a while was unbelievable. And then you look at turnovers as an offense, it's so low that you win with efficiency in the red zone and the lack of turnovers. And if we master that, then the 3 and out stuff doesn't hurt you as bad. And I don't know why, if you could be that efficient when you don't turn it over, why can't you just get better positive offense on a snap-by-snap basis? I don't know why it's so hard. I don't know. But they win so much. It's funny. I'm almost in the opposite right now. A lot of fans didn't see it, argued about it forever, and now they're starting to get the dose of reality and it's soaking into the bone marrow. I almost bought in early, understood it's crazy that they do this, and now I'm starting to pick apart some of their flaws because I'm so brain dead on how they actually get it done, and I'm numb to it all. But the clip is so elite that all they do is win. You just have to accept it. You do just have to accept it. But I'm going the other way right now, starting to nitpick some of the stuff while the nitpickers are saying, hey, this is great. You guys tell me all the time to embrace it and to adore it and to love it and just accept it. This is great. I want to get back to that. I'll get there. I promise I'll get there. All right. I'll shut up now. Actually, yep, that's right. I'm going to hit you with something about my friends over at DraftKings. All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Brodes. That's code Brodes. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass. Plus, get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. I believe Jalen Phillips can be very close to what Von Miller was for the Rams during their Super Bowl run. You see, based off of next-gen stats, that he has the third highest pressure rate since Week 5. Third highest in the National Football League since Week 5. He's had pressures when lined up over the center. He's had pressures lined up over the guard. There's ways to make this sexy. And I believe Jalen Phillips can be close to the Von Miller acquisition for the Rams when they won the Super Bowl. This kid is legit. He's had injury history. Very well documented. Everybody knows it. But if he can stay upright, and it is a big if, he's a baller. He can flat out play. And truth be told, you could probably get 2 times what he's given in Miami based off of what's here. Because in Miami, it's a different beast when you don't have a Jalen Carter presence. When you don't have what the Eagles have, Coop and Q and Bond and Nakobe and Reed and some of these other guys in the secondary that can help out your pass rush, that could even buy the pass rush more time to get home. So if he's able to generate the 3rd highest pressure rate since week 5 on a team like that Miami Dolphins team, just think about what's here ahead of him. I think he's going to wreck game. Now, I'm not telling you he's Myles Garrett, all right? But there's a big difference between being Myles Garrett and just being a guy and just being a presence. There is this wave of players that's somewhere in between where on a night-to-night basis, they are doing things to force the other quarterback to be significantly more uncomfortable than they would without your presence. And that overwhelms you through 4 quarters. And then the sacks start to come. And maybe it's not even Jalen Phillips getting home. Maybe BG gets home because of the fear factor of Jalen Phillips. Or Jalen Phillips forces so much pressure that an interception happens. And his presence is important. I think he's going to actually cause huge momentum shifts week in and week out as long as he's healthy. And it's a big as long as. But as long as he's healthy, I think he can make that level of impact. And when I go back in time and I see the Rams and everything Von Miller did for that Rams team, that put them over the edge. That gave them an extra jolt. That gave them a different dimension where he forced other quarterbacks to be shaken in their boots, and he forced them to be uncomfortable. And then mistakes started to happen. He's logging in sacks in all these postseason games except for one, and he's bringing home the hardware. Jalen Phillips is that type of animal. He's nasty. He's nasty. And do not forget, this is a complementary sport. And not just with offense, defense, special teams, but everything across the line is complementary. Everything with the secondary is complementary. And you have such strong pieces all around that the opportunity to flourish, if you can succeed in certain ways down in Miami, you could do so much more here just by default. I look at this like in baseball at the trade deadline. You got a closer. Your team has a great lineup. Your team has good starting pitching. They got nice bullpen arms. Then you go get the closer. Phillips can be the closer. He's the final bolt that tightens up the machine. The final bolt. When you're tightening it and you're gritting your teeth and you're making sure you're going right the whole way. You can't move the bolt anymore because it's that tight. This is it. This is tightening up the screws, tightening up the bolts. That's how I feel. All right, that'll do it for this show. Before I let you out of here, you know I love my friends over at Camden Apothecary. It's the best cannabis in the world. And they're great Philly fans, by the way. Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. And they are only 5 minutes over the bridge. This is the dispensary for sports fans just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting, and they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. And their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. And they even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and even healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. Tell them Brodes sent you for 10% off.